All right, hello everyone. This is Richard C. Wilson here, recording this podcast with Brandon Schwab. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey man, what is up, Richard? How are you, sir?
Good, good. Thanks for joining me here. So, Brandon runs a company called Shepherd Premier Senior Living. He's in the senior living space, but before you think you've heard this before, typically his properties have been small, I think 5 to a dozen beds per home, and you have 5 of those homes with 58 beds total within your
Right.
kind of boutique senior living model. Is that right?
Bingo. I have 5 properties that are going to have anywhere from about 10 to about 15 beds per home.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And I thought this was such a smart model when I heard about it at a dentist doctor investor club meeting I was at, that I took a picture of some handouts someone had, texted it to my brother as an attorney, and said, "Hey, Charlie, why don't you investigate this?" I was looking for smart real estate ideas for my clients, for my own
Sure.
family. And I thought
Sure.
this seems like a niche scalable thing where you could knock out one, learn on the second, and really scale it up without going, "Hey, I need to raise 40 million out of the gates to do
Sure.
project number one." So it
Yeah.
really, I have a personal interest in this interview and learning more about it. And can you just talk about how
Sure.
you got started in the space? Because I know you've been doing it for half a decade now.
Yeah. So I first got exposed to this back when I was only about 25 years old. I am 38 now. So just my grandpa was in a 200 bed building, and we kind of had a pretty bad experience. We pulled the
Right.
pull cord button and kind of thought people would be able to come over and take care of them. And when it was like, 15, 20, 25, so I went to go get him a person to take care of him. And I wasn't really all that polite. So I kind of got introduced to the typical bigger type options. And that kind of opened up the eyes that there's got to be a different avenue out there that can offer better care. Fast forward to 2014, we were down in Tampa, actually. Our father-in-law plays the piano at 328 homes per year, typically at the old folks' homes. So when we would go down there, I would always try to be able to get out of it. But we pulled up to a 5-bed house. And so I was like, what is this? And a part that was kind of funny is I had 23 homes at the time that were able to throw off passive income of 5,400. But I was in this house and I kind of had the arms just kind of, what is this place? And I kind of felt dumb that I didn't have any clue what this place actually was. And when I figured out that 5-bed home outperformed all 23 of our homes 2 times per month, I was like, there's probably just something to it. And when I came back here, so I was looking to how to find a property that can handle 10 people. Because if you think 5 beds is good, if you're going to double it to 10, oh my goodness. So our first property, I bought in a town of 800 people. We bought it for $250 and we put $550,000 into it, and we filled it up, and it's been clearing 20 grand per month for over 3 years. And I'm like, okay, things are going good.
That was a big renovation to do on the first one. I'm not an expert in the space at all, but I dug into it enough to know that, you look for single levels. You want durable materials. If somebody gets sick, it has to be easy to clean up. You need handrails. You need to be able to, emergency alarm in the bathroom. You need to make it safe, navigatable. You might need nurses on hand 24/7. You want to multiply the number of rooms to get a big footprint in that house, a big square footage. You have to be aware of local laws, et cetera. So that was a big renovation amount to go in on your first deal. 550 on a 250 house. You went in pretty strong on that. How did you de-risk that decision and not just go in and do a 100K reno on a $350,000 place?
We are in a particular county that has 308,000 people, and we were the only place in the entire county that is going to be 15 beds or under. So I didn't really have anything else to go against, and I figured that if I am going to do it, we have to do things properly. I added four and a half different bathrooms, and 3 of those were ADA bathrooms. And anytime you get into adding anything ADA, your cost is able to go up by 2 times. So I did go in heavy. However, I had to build a property that when I thought back to everything that was able to happen, that if our own family is going to be in there, that they are going to feel good on being in there. So I thought of it as, what do you think I would do if our own personal family's in there? And I did all of that. And fast forward, this house did appraise for 1.8 million. So that upfront 800,000 did turn out pretty good. But that 250,000, it was a $500,000 house, and I offered them two different offers, either A, to get them to carry the dollars back at 500,000, or take 250 cash, and he was able to take 250 cash. So
great.
we got a very good deal on it.
Yeah, that's great. That explains a little bit of why you felt more comfortable going in on stuff, knowing it would appraise at least in the 400s, I would guess, even if someone said 500 is what it's worth. So that makes sense. And typically, these compare, boutiques in your living model compares to the larger homes in that you have a good ratio of nurses for people in the home. Do you have someone in the home 24/7? Like what level of people are you taking in? I'm guessing not memory care type.
We are taking in people that are going to have care. Our typical bed is about $5,500 each 30 days. In our first property, I had 4 private bedrooms, and then I had 3 double bedrooms that there was 2 people in each bedroom. So those 2 bedrooms, we were able to discount the pay down to about $5,000 each month. And we had 3 bedrooms that were paying $10,000 per month. So what we really did is we got into a place where we felt really comfortable with the asset, and we felt comfortable that if we have 10 people paying $5,000 to $5,500 each month, that we had a total asset that was able to totally gross $55,000. How that compared to kind of how we were going into it is we were really kind of comfortable that if you offer the absolute best care in this particular county, we were the only people here doing it. So we offer both care. There are going to be 5 activities of daily living that people are gonna just have to have help with. We typically are going to focus when a person has to have help with 2 of them. So that's being able to put your clothes on, to toilet, to bathe, to being able to cook, to eat, all of those things. When a person has to have help with any 2 of those, that's when they would be able to come to us. One of the things we found is the typical coast-to-coast average for a caregiver is about a caregiver to every 15 to 20 people. I found that out back when I was only 25, when things were pretty difficult, right? And what we found is that we were going to build a home that was going to be different. So we have a caregiver to every 5 people. So in our first property with 10 people in it, we actually have 2 caregivers that are in there that take care of everybody for 15 hours every day. How that is going to change over is people get drastically better. They get better care than if they were in a place where that poor caregiver had to care for 15 to 20 people. They just don't get very good care. And typically, as people go into these bigger buildings, you typically pick up the odor first. And the odor is that they aren't getting great care. So we built a business as we are going to do things different, and we're going to build a place that's going to take care of that first.
Right.
Offer great care.
Yeah, I guess it's much more personal of an experience too, rather than having 100 RNs on staff. You might have 20 to have 4 kind of working each day or something. What about like nighttime care? Like, is someone there all night in case someone needs help? Okay.
Yeah, so our gal in the evening time is going to really handle cooking, cleaning. She's doing close the whole evening as well, just to kind of keep up with that. But there is always going to be a person in all of our homes that is up.
Cool. And then what about, you had mentioned something over email about your financing arm or financing division. Can you go into that just a little bit more in detail?
Yeah. So for our past 5 years, a thing that I've been doing is I've been able to operate our own homes, and I was able to convert properties into this particular type of asset class. Well, what I found is after doing that for about 5 years is the type of dollars I was putting into all of these homes that I could actually, the cost to build them, that was actually under what it was costing us to get into all of these homes. So a thing that I found is when we were going to fast forward to this year, so I bought about 8 acres, and we were going to build 144 beds. And we came up with our own boutique fund with the idea to take the upfront capital part out first. And we kind of put it on a back burner because we found the folks as far as investors to partner up with us on all of these deals. However, when COVID hit, we were just about to begin building. We were going to build 144 beds. That was about $25 million. And right before we were going to close, our family office that was going to take care of that whole project backed out. The family office wasn't comfortable with COVID, and they backed out because they weren't positive so like how things were going to actually pan out. So fast forward, we came up with our own fund to kind of take place of that because I feel that as I expand, I am always going to have access to capital, and if I don't have to always go after that first. So we came up with a fund, and we just opened it about April 15th. And our fund is going to be only towards parking dollars into this type of asset class, which is 10 to 15 beds per home. A thing that's great on that is it doesn't only put all of your dollars into one particular asset. It is going to put it into 2, 3, 4, 10 different homes in this type of asset class. And a thing that's cool too is post-COVID, our business has done very good. We are the only place in our whole county that doesn't have any cases throughout any of our different homes, which that's incredible. Which that's also proven that these tiny homes is a better atmosphere to take care of that going forward. So
good point, huh? It's like less likely to have spread. You have less visitors total, less people coming in and out.
Well, and then also because we aren't a very big business, we were able to close our doors 10 days before anyone else. And we were being very proactive compared to these bigger corporations. They couldn't close their doors. They had to go through this whole chain. Well, those guys today have 80 cases in their homes because they didn't be able to close their doors. So I do feel that the boutique business is definitely better when it comes to taking care of the folks who are older compared to a bigger box building that's like an apartment type building. So.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the whole virus risk thing because people are afraid of what the next virus is going to be, or if this one mutates, or how long it's going to be until there's a vaccine. So it seems like that's something that's not going to go away. Which I guess when you build on the 7 acres for the 144 unit, it will be bigger than the small ones, but within your company, you'll have that optionality to show people.
So a thing that is very cool is those 144 beds, they're 3 pods of 3 different homes, and they are going to add up to 144 beds. So a thing that happens is when a parent is going to get to a point where they are going to have care, it's an easier time for them when they can go out of their own home into an actual home compared to a big, very big type building, right? So
Okay.
our 144 beds is going to add up to that. But each of these, as you pull in, is like an individual type home.
So you could build it out in stages in those pods of 3. They'll be standardized. And then if the company ever fell in hard times, God forbid, you always sell off 2 of the 9 homes, or worst case, the whole pod, and then restabilize. It kind of helps you de-risk because they'll be separately zoned as single family homes, basically.
Well, and a thing that is cool here, by building a property brand new, the cap rates on them are based off of the dollars that are coming in, and the cap rates are between 5 and 8%. Where if our first 5 properties were built about the 50s to the 80s, all of those properties are appraising at a 10% cap rate, as high as about 13.5%. So that tells you whenever you build, that's going to be an A type asset, and a bank is going to give you a 5-8% cap rate. So each of these pods will appraise between 20 and 22, where our all-in cost is only 8. So we are in a very good position because we would have each of these pods is going to be able to clear after expenses about $300,000 per month. Well, if you take that times 12 at an 8% cap rate, it's a really good deal. So
right. Yeah, interesting. I hope this has been educational for those listening. It's an area most don't think about. I think about senior living and how operational it is, but I think of these 200 bed, 350 bed type locations. Most people don't know that there are 5 to 15 bed kind of mini senior living facilities in every city all over the place. I didn't know about that even after operating the Family Office Club for 11 years. I hadn't heard about it a single time, until 2018, 2019, I think it was. So appreciate you sharing that here and just kind of sharing some insight on the space so investors can be aware, people can be knowledgeable about the trend. Is there anything else you wanted to fit in for today, like a last point that you were hoping to make or something to emphasize about the space, or did we get to cover everything that you were hoping to?
So I would tell you that this particular asset class is the equal to Uber of the taxi cab industry. Picture the taxi cab industry was pretty comfy, cozy for about 40 or 50 years. They really didn't do anything different, right?
Right.
But fast forward to Uber. What did Uber do to that particular industry? It turned it all totally upside down, right?
Right.
This is the opportunity for anyone that is going to be interested in this asset class to be parking dollars with the Uber of this type of industry, because the bigger box buildings are pretty cozy, comfy as well. They don't think they can even be touched. Kind of just like the taxi cab industry. Therefore, when a business comes and is able to do things different and it's going to catch on, it's going to take over the whole industry. I feel that our business, with a good anchor tenant, a good anchor partner, to be able to help us get there, we are going to be the Uber of this type of industry, changing how people think about taking care of their overall elderly. So I think if anybody had a chance to invest into Uber prior to it actually being Uber, they would jump all over it. That's the opportunity here. We have a pretty big appetite over the upcoming 5 years to borrow 250 that we can turn into a 3.2. We can turn 250 into a $3.2 billion business.
Right. Yeah, it's a big opportunity, and that's great. I'd be happy to keep in touch as you guys grow throughout this year. I think we're going to be featuring you on an investor discussion panel coming up. Maybe June 11th or so, sometime in June, I know, coming up in the next 2 weeks. My team member said, so looking forward to that and hearing some more of your thoughts on that panel. Shoot me over some more materials after this podcast, like we talked about beforehand, and I'll take a look.
Yeah.
And what's the best place for someone to go if they wanted to learn more or connect with you at? What's kind of your website or the place to reach you?
Best place, I've got our calendar online. It is Brandon, BRANDON SCHWAB.com. That's probably a best place to go to book a time that is going to be good for you. We can jump on a call. I prefer talking face to face, so we can grab a call where we can talk face to face is best for anybody that is interested. You could call me at the office, 224-333-6247. But it's probably best if you book a time to talk on the internet. If anyone's interested in our fund, it's boutique senior living fund.com. That's the best place to kind of go to get info on that. And thank you for the time to be on here, Richard.
Cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here and sharing your thoughts, and we'll be talking to you soon on one of our panels.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.